Well, when we get to Jude, the first question, of course, is who and when. Jude simply calls himself the brother of James. He doesn't use any other description, doesn't say the son of, and he doesn't say apostle, or he doesn't say anything like that. He identifies himself with James, and James is therefore the one who, so to speak, draws him into his place in history. He is thus one of the relatives of Jesus because he's referring to the James that wrote James. Now, I say relatives of Jesus because some have argued, like Jerome, that they were cousins of Jesus who lived in the same households. Others have argued that they were older than Jesus, sons of Joseph, with a former wife before the Virgin Mary. And typical Protestant position has been that they were physical brothers of Jesus. Actually, the word itself does not indicate because it can be used for even fellow countrymen, but they are part of the family, the wider family around Jesus. Now, some identify both James and Jude with members of the 12. That would certainly be true for Jerome. In other words, they would say, yes, there's some of his relatives, maybe for a while all of his relatives, did not follow him, but the James the Less and the second Judas in the 12, that is Judas not Iscariot, as it's put in one place, were relatives of Jesus. I don't know how to prove this one way or another, other than to say those are the positions. If younger than Jesus, he may have lived into the late first century. That wouldn't be surprising. Let's say he was 10 years younger than Jesus, and Jesus was about 30 when he died. Well, to live into your 80s or 90s certainly wouldn't be unusual or unknown in that time. Unusual, yes, the average age of death was around 40 up until around 1600, but many people did live to be much older, even into their 80s and 90s. There was no reason to think of Jude as a pseudonym, and because why would you do that? I mean, if you're going to use a pseudonym, if you're going to call it by somebody who had nothing to do with the work, well, why not a famous one? Why not Peter or James or Paul or somebody that was known? No, it is almost, from my point of view, certain that this is seen as stemming from the real Jude.